If you've been trying to lose the same 15 to 20 to 30 pounds and it's been over a year, the problem isn't that you lack discipline. The problem is your strategy. So today I'm going to give you mine, the exact phase strategy that I took to lose 37 pounds naturally, and the same approach that I use with my clients to help them lose weight and shed fat naturally and keep it off for good. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step system, what to do first, what to do next, and exactly how to structure each phase so that your body looks and feels completely different by the end of this year. Here's the thing when it comes to weight loss and fat loss. Most people go straight into restriction mode. They cut calories, they start their fitness challenge, their diet, they end up losing some weight, but then they start to plateau, they fall off the wagon, and you know what happens next? They start this vicious yo-yo cycle of losing and regaining the same 10 to 15 pounds. You've probably been there yourself. It can be really frustrating, especially when years go by and your body still looks and feels the same. But they're not failing because they don't care or because they're not trying. They just don't have a system that considers all the necessary phases that are required to make weight loss and fat loss actually stick long term. Hi, I'm Perry, a weight loss expert and body transformation coach and trainer with 10 years experience. And in today's video, I'm going to walk you through the exact step-by-step method I took to lose 37 pounds naturally, and the same strategy and approach I use with my clients to help them lose 15 plus pounds in 90 days naturally in a way where they can actually keep and maintain their results long term. There's 3 phases and each one builds on the last. If you follow them in this exact order, everything in your body will change. Phase 1, the metabolic reset phase, weeks 1 through 10. This is the phase almost everyone skips, and it's no wonder why, because not a lot of people talk about it, but it's actually the most important phase before you ever go into weight loss mode. And skipping this step is why most people fail. Before you even go into weight loss or fat loss mode, you have to prep your body first. Otherwise, nothing you do is going to work long term. Here's what this phase is designed to do. 1, repair metabolic damage from previous diets or underfueling. And this could come from years of dieting or undereating or being in a calorie deficit for too long. 2, increase your metabolic rate so you're burning more calories at rest. And in simple terms, this just means boost your metabolism. 3, build a foundation of muscle that will accelerate fat loss in the next phase. And this is really important because the foundation underneath, aka your muscle, it's what's going to also create the toning and definition you're looking for after fat loss. And finally, stabilize your hormones and your energy so your body's not in protection mode. This is going to tell your body you're safe and you'll be more responsive to weight loss protocols in phase 2. Here's what this phase looks like in practice. Calories are set at maintenance or just slightly above it so we can grow a little bit of muscle too. Calories are typically around 2,200 to 2,700 for the typical female. And I know that may sound like a lot. It may be a little bit scary to comprehend, but this is what's going to help us create the foundation for fat loss later on. We also do it slowly over time. Protein goals are also set to 30 to 50 grams of protein per meal. Strength training begins immediately at 3 to 4 times a week if it's not already being implemented. Step count goal is kept moderate, think like 6 to 8K steps a day, and cardio is kept light at around 45 to 60 minutes a week. Here's what to expect during a metabolic reset phase. The scale may not drop, and in fact, it might actually increase as your muscle fills out and glycogen fills. This is really a combination of building muscle and water weight. I know that eating extra calories can be scary, and if you see the scale uptick, but just know that this is a normal part of the phase and it's not real weight. Energy will also skyrocket as early as weeks 2 to 3 to even 4. You'll also notice strength increases as calories increase, and the fact that you're building muscle, it's all a good sign. And lastly, body composition will shift. This is a good thing because we want to increase lean muscle mass as we decrease body fat. So while the scale may not move at all, or it might even go up, this is the phase where your body can actually start to shrink as you reduce body fat and build lean muscle mass. This phase might feel unproductive as it relates to weight loss and fat loss because you're not restricting calories, you're not losing a bunch of weight in this phase, and you're not going into restriction mode. What you're doing instead is way more beneficial because you're igniting that fire and boosting the little engine inside of you that's going to make phase 2 way more effective. My client Faith came to me as a daily runner. We're talking 5 to 6 days a week. She was running a couple of miles. She was eating healthy, but she wasn't able to lose body fat or shed weight no matter what she did. We spent the first 10 weeks resetting her metabolism, boosting her calories, and because of this, she lost 8 pounds and 12 inches before we ever entered a fat loss mode. The reset did the work before her fat loss phase ever started. Phase 1 lays the foundation. Phase 2 is the one that everyone gets excited about because that's where we see even more visible change on the body and the one that most people care about on the scale. Phase 2, the fat loss phase, weeks 11 through weeks 28. This is the phase your body is now ready for because you built the metabolic engine in phase 1. And because you did that first, fat loss in this phase is easier, more consistent, and definitely more sustainable than if you were to have just dropped into a calorie deficit day 1. Here's what changes in this phase. Calories drop moderately, approximately 300 to 500 below maintenance level set in phase 1, and they change throughout this phase as well. This is to ensure the body keeps progressing if the metabolism begins to adapt. Protein also stays high to protect the muscle, especially throughout a calorie deficit. This signals to the body to keep the muscle and take the body fat. Step count goal increases to over 8K a day and continues increasing throughout this phase, and cardio increases to a longer duration and or more frequently. Strength training definitely needs to continue in this phase because, again, we don't want to just lose weight. We want to lose body fat and keep and maintain and grow our lean muscle mass throughout. So progressive overload training is recommended during a fat loss phase. Here's what consistent and natural weight loss and fat loss looks like when both the body and the metabolism is prepped ahead of time. Weight trends downward week over week like clockwork. It's normal to lose about half a pound to 2 pounds a week, depending on the person. Energy stays relatively stable throughout because the deficit is moderate, not extreme. Cravings should be manageable because things like protein, fiber, and volume eating are key here. And toning and definition becomes even more visible because we've created muscle underneath. As we shed fat, it's actually exposed. Here's what this phase is not: a crash diet, elimination of food groups or entire food categories, doing cardio for 2 hours a day, eating the same 5 safe foods on rotation, or suffering with hunger all day, every day. Fat loss should feel a little hard, and yeah, it's natural to be a little hungry, but it should be doable throughout your normal everyday life, especially if weight loss and fat loss is a goal. If it feels unbearable, then your deficit may be too aggressive, as in you may not be eating enough or you may be doing too much activity. If that's the case, you might be losing muscle instead of body fat, which is what we don't want. My client Lindsay, 38, is a nurse, and she came to me wanting to lose 50 pounds naturally. Using this exact phased approach, she's been able to lose 35 pounds naturally so far, and we're just getting started. But not only that, her body composition has changed drastically. She has built so much lean muscle mass, she's so much stronger, and she has significantly reduced body fat. She's gone from feeling heavy, sluggish, and soft to feeling really strong, leaner, and lighter, and we're just getting started. Phase 2 is where the visible transformation happens, both in the body and on the scale. But phase 3 is one of the most important phases, and it's one that most people skip, and it's why they tend to gain the weight right back. If you're watching this video and you're realizing that you've been skipping straight into restriction mode without focusing on building the foundation first, hit subscribe. I post weekly videos showing you how to lose weight and shed fat naturally and in a way where you can keep it off. Now let's talk about why the next phase makes weight loss and fat loss way more permanent. Phase 3, reverse back to maintenance, weeks 28 through 38. This is the phase that separates the people who actually keep their results compared to the ones who end up gaining all the weight right back. And this phase is rarely taught. Almost nobody knows about it, so listen closely. Here's what this phase looks like: a slow, gradual increase of calories over the course of a period of time to get you back to maintenance level. This is paired with a gradual decrease in cardio and steps and other movement protocols to bring you back to baseline. It's also designed to teach your body to maintain its new physique at a higher calorie count, which means you can eat more food while maintaining your results, which is always the most fun part, in my opinion. Here's why this phase is non-negotiable. After months in a fat loss phase, your metabolism has downregulated to a lower calorie count in that deficit, meaning your body is used to a lower calorie count. Jumping straight from fat loss back into maintenance would put you in an immediate calorie surplus, which means your body has zero time to adapt, and that's why a lot of people gain the weight right back. Reverse dieting over a course of time is going to allow your metabolism to adjust upward in real time. The result is maintaining your new physique at a significantly higher calorie count without actually regaining weight. So you get to eat more food while enjoying your new body. And honestly, this is like the best phase ever. Here's what this phase looks like in practice. Calories increase by about 50 to 100 each week over the course of 8 to 12 weeks. Cardio reduces gradually and steps do as well. Strength training continues to build muscle and continue working on recomposition, building lean muscle mass as we reduce body fat. The scale weight can stabilize and stay put, or it'll slightly increase by a few pounds as we gain more muscle and glycogen in the muscles refill, aka by eating more food, eating more carbs, that's going to cause you to retain a little bit more extra water weight. But don't worry, it's not real weight. It's simply more food in your system and you building more muscle on the back end. Here's what your life should look like after a fat loss phase and after reversing back to maintenance. You're maintaining your results at 22 to 3,000 calories depending on the person. You're no longer living in diet mode, which is amazing, especially after a fat loss phase. You're able to enjoy social events and vacations without totally derailing your progress. And you have a healthy, sustainable relationship with food and exercise where you don't have to live in restriction year-round. The diet ends, yes, but the results don't have to. Reverse dieting is the bridge between transformation and actually maintaining results long-term. And this makes losing the weight actually mean something long-term because you're actually able to maintain your results without having to eat like a sad little rabbit for the rest of your life. Your action plan starting this week. You do not need to overhaul everything today. Here's where to start. Step 1, figure out what phase you're actually in right now. If you've been in a calorie deficit for 8 weeks, you feel like your progress has slowed, or maybe you've even hit a plateau, you're most likely living with a down-regulated metabolism. This is where a metabolic reset phase could come in handy. If you've never done a proper metabolic reset phase, or you're eating under 2,000 calories, it's probably a good idea to start here. If you've successfully built muscle and you've been eating at a maintenance level calorie count, then you might be able to get away with going straight into a fat loss phase. However, for 99.9% of my clients, I at least recommend a metabolic reset phase for at least 4 weeks minimum, no matter who you are. Step 2, set your protein target today. Aim for 30 grams of protein per meal. This is going to help you stay fuller longer. It's going to keep you more satiated and happy, and it's going to help you in every phase of the way because it's what protects and builds your muscle. Step 3, start tracking your workouts. And if you're not already doing strength training, you should definitely start integrating it today, especially if your goal is to lose weight and shed fat and be able to maintain your results long term. Pick 4 to 5 compound exercises like bench press, hip thrusts, squats, that kind of thing. Track your reps, track your weight, and then try to beat your score every week. This is called progressive overload training, and it's what actually helps you build muscle. Remember, those last 2 reps should feel impossible, though it's crucial to have good form, tempo, and mind-to-muscle connection. Step 4, commit to the full timeline. This system takes 9 to 12 months to complete. So no, an 8-week challenge or a 30-day elimination diet is not going to build your dream body. The people who get real results that they can actually see and feel are the ones that stop looking for shortcuts and instead do things properly following this exact phase process. Losing 15 or more pounds naturally is not complicated, it's not impossible, and no, it doesn't require a GLP-1 either. But it does require a strategic, cohesive approach. And as I always tell my clients, there's a reason for the season. If you skip any of those steps, you're gonna wind back right where you started. If you follow them in order, your body will look and feel completely different at the end of this year. If you're thinking you want this mapped out specifically for your body, your metabolism, and your goals, that's exactly what I do on my free video consultation. consultations. We look at where you are, what phase you're in right now, and where we need to go next to take your body to the next level. If you want to book a free video consultation with me, the link is in the description below. Before you start any fat loss phase, you want to make sure that you're losing body fat instead of lean muscle mass. Otherwise, this entire system will backfire. The good news is I made a video that breaks down the 5 warning signs that you're losing muscle instead of body fat, and you can click right here to watch that video next.